Hey everyone! So, in this video, I'm going to react to Meet Kevin running for governor. But first of all, welcome to High School Dropout's advice. If you need subtitles, click on the subtitle button right here. Through Patreon, you can get into our Discord community where you can get directly in touch with me and other subscribers. Let me tell you that I follow Meet Kevin since he started to make videos about Grant Cardone. So I followed him for the majority of his YouTube career and I agree with him on many things. He is a very hardworking, very bright and more importantly, willing to try to find solutions for problems. He is not scared of being wrong and would try his unique approach to fix a problem, but he is also intelligent and flexible enough to adjust to the current situation. So let us watch part of his video and let us think if this can really happen.
Now, I don't exactly know the answer to this yet, but I can tell you one thing is for sure. If I were to become governor, I'd be the only governor making YouTube videos every day. They'd probably be more of vlog style, but I would be the most transparent governor that would exist, and you'd have my commentary every single day. I'd probably have a team of editors and filmers that I would personally pay for just following me around, so that way in between meetings or coffee breaks or whatever, I could give you the lowdown on what the heck is going on, not only in the state.
I think being on the media for the whole time is a double-edged sword. It's more transparent for us, but it can also be confusing when he gives his insight and share his plans with the public when those will not written into law or when he has to change his opinion later. Let us see what other ideas he has.
Part number one for fixing California. California taxes are too high. COVID has proven that you don't need to live in a specific state to work in a specific state. This means people are literally fleeing California, especially higher income individuals, paying sales taxes and property taxes and potentially income taxes in different states or no income taxes in different states by fleeing to states like Texas, Florida, Nevada, Idaho, and avoiding California taxation altogether. That means not only are we losing the income tax from those individuals, but we're also losing car registrations, license registrations, or renewals, or losing in sales taxes and property taxes. We're losing a lot from these individuals. And this trend has a real risk of bleeding California dry. I mean, we're already seeing Tesla not only threaten to move to Texas, but establish their next gigafactory in Texas. This is bad. We can't have companies, especially big tech companies, leaving our state because they contribute so much to our California GDP. California's cracks of this happening are already starting to show, and it's a big problem.
I totally agree with Meet Kevin here. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I invest in Houston, Texas. And many Californians are moving to Nevada and Texas. You might know that YouTubers like Stephen Graham and Andrew Jig have already moved to Las Vegas because the amount in the state income tax they pay for California can finance a really nice property here in Las Vegas. So let us see what his solution is.
So my solution number one, completely eliminate all taxes for those making less than $250,000 per year. For those above this range, and to be determined, there should be a flat tax of somewhere between 5 to 7%. And we don't even need the California Franchise Tax Board to do this. We should just abolish the Franchise Tax Board altogether. And I know that sounds radical, but quite frankly, we need less bureaucracy because we're gonna have to work on saving a lot of money. So there's gonna be a lot of saving money that needs to happen at the government to not have a state income tax. But quite frankly, we can all do with a little less bureaucracy. And in this 20-part plan, you're gonna see how I come up with generating this additional revenue because quite frankly, it's cheap talk to say, let's get rid of income taxes without a plan.
Let me show you the current state income tax bracket. You can see that it would benefit many people if the state income tax would be between 5 to 7% for people who earn more than $250,000. This would be a welcoming change for many Californians. Abolishing the Californian tax board makes sense. Less paperwork, less cost for the government, but if he has not planned what to do with those employees who are hired by the government, I don't see that this will happen.
The same will be true for small businesses. So small businesses, individuals making under $250,000 will pay zero in California taxes and file no California tax-related fees. But again, just eliminating the California tax without a plan for replacing $100 billion in revenue annually is cheap talk. So let's talk about this. First, as part of part one here, taxing those just making over $250,000 at around 5 to 7%, it will likely raise over $25 billion in tax revenue annually. That means already, with this one change, we may have lost that $100 billion in revenue, but we've already filled the pot back up with about $25 billion in revenue. And again, that's $100 billion in revenue is what the state brings in annually from income taxes. We're gonna fill that pot back up with $25 billion just by taxing those making over on the amounts over $250,000 at 5 to 7%, to be determined exactly where. But anyway, anyone, and this is sort of another thing that we'll do, anyone who has already left California within the last 10 years will be invited back and will be given a 50% tax abatement on any income over $250,000 for the first 3 years they're back. So that way, our goal is to bring some of these entrepreneurs and higher income earners back to California. So if they're gone, you go from making money to making no money. If you bring them back at a 50% discount, at least you're going from zero to something, and hopefully they stay as we have a more accommodative business related or business inspired taxation structure in California. We gotta fix California.
I'm not quite sure if he can really receive a 25 billion with the taxation of 5 to 7% on an income of 250K plus. In 2019, the government in California collected about 188 billion in taxes. I think the deficit is bigger than 75 billion, as Meet Kevin said. However, the idea of bringing back former Californians is another double-edged sword. This means that high income earners who make over 250,000 a year can theoretically buy a home in Las Vegas, Nevada, make it their primary home, and move back to California the next year to save a 50% tax cut. Or they could stay and live in Nevada as their primary residence to avoid the income tax altogether. The plan is good, but for every plan we put out there will be some loopholes which we need to consider as well.
We have way too few homes, and that is the simple problem. We have too few homes. Homes take too long to build, and the permitting process via building and safety departments is too expensive and time-consuming. For example, California has laws that accessory dwelling units should be permitted within 60 days, yet most cities just ignore these rules and they end up taking 6 months. I know this because I'm one of those people waiting 6 months for a guest unit. Solving the housing problem can be done in 4 phases, and then I'm gonna talk about transportation because trust me, if we're gonna talk about housing, we gotta talk about transportation too, okay? Phase 1, free permits. Literally free permits that anyone can pull online through the state with no punitive action for previously unpermitted items. Trust me, as someone who began business in the state as a real estate broker, nobody wants to pull a permit because it is so punitive, cost prohibitive, and time intensive. And everyone who owns a house is probably nodding their head going, yep, I hate the building safety department.
No doubt that free permits and online permits are speeding up the economy and all real estate related business matters. Meet Kevin also talks about permits and license for larger remodels.
Permitted over the counter, but then there are larger remodel permits that generally require architects and engineers. Yet here's an irony. Why is it that the state licenses architects and engineers, so the state certifies engineers and architects to work in the state of California, yet architects and engineers together do not have the power to authorize you to begin a remodel? That's a big problem. So we're gonna change that. Together, we're going to completely change the way building and safety works. Architects and engineers who already take liability for the plans they put together will simply certify that their plans meet code, which means less architects and engineers just throwing spaghetti against the wall, hoping it sticks or letting building and safety do the heavy lifting for them. Instead, licensed architects and engineers will put their license and their liability protections on the plans that they certify meet California codes, which will be simplifying California codes as well to make this much more streamlined.
We need to ask ourselves, if the licensed engineer and architects wants to take responsibility and put their license on the line, we also need to ask ourselves which department we are going to remove. Overall, I agree with Meet Kevin. This will be any flippers and real estate investors' dream. But we are also putting a department out of work, and we are not sure if all contractors and architects want to take this kind of responsibility.
Subject to a 7-day audit by local building officials, and this is going to be more like a gut check on it, okay, double checking, there will be remodels that can begin virtually immediately. That means no more waiting 3 to 12 months to get a plan check back because you're waiting for 10 different departments to shuffle through your plans, which your architects and engineers should have done already. This is a backwards system, the way things exist now. Why do we bother having a licensing system when we can't even empower our architects and engineers to solve our remodeling problems?
He plans to use the building and safety department to check within 7 days. This could create a lot of trouble if the building and safety department does not agree with the architect or contractor's plan. More work, more delays, and more costs can be created. Even with streamlined standards, this can take years until everyone is on the same page. Meet Kevin's idea is good and is a more desired way. But the way going forward with this plan is not without difficulty.
Then we get to phase 3, new construction and guest units. We should streamline these through the state. Rather than builders submitting plans for guest units or new construction homes in each city, builders should get authorization to build homes statewide. I invite home builders to come to the state and in one swoop open up massive plan approvals throughout the state to open up massive parts of California for new construction with standardized floor plans, especially inland and in low population areas where more land is available to develop and grow into. We need more houses in more places. It's that simple. Without more houses, people either leave California or they end up suffering into a poverty trap, and that is unacceptable in California.
This absolutely makes sense. How things are at the moment are over-regulated, and simplifying these processes is helping the state to build faster.
Look around California and ask yourself, how many malls and strip malls and commercial buildings are closed? And how many of them are not coming back? How quickly can we easily redevelop these into homes and townhomes? That way, you're not worried about taking more land, maybe in downtown Los Angeles or San Diego, and turning it into, removing, let's say, a park and turning it into housing. We don't want to do that. We want more green spaces. But let's take abandoned strip malls and actually turn them into townhomes and streamline the redevelopment of this process.
This is a bold move, and I love that he is moving quickly. It should be sold to the developer quickly and get to rebuild quickly. I totally agree here, but there are way more opinions and restrictions in politics. But overall, I don't see anything wrong with it. The only negative I can think of is that the neighborhood becomes less desirable because of the lack of malls and other places for activities.
By focusing on redeveloping unused commercial space and streamlining remodels and new construction in the state, we'll actually need to focus less on, quote, low-income housing. Instead, we'll just focus on more housing, because more housing in underdeveloped areas gives people an opportunity to move to these areas within California, so that rather than leaving California, they could be in different areas of California with new construction homes, and they could begin to build their wealth. The reality is, people stuck in Section 8 or in rent-controlled apartments or units, they don't end up building their wealth. They end up stuck dependent on California's affordable housing laws, and they never end up building their wealth through real estate. The reality is, the best way to build wealth in America, at least one of the best ways to build wealth in America, is by home ownership or through home ownership. Owning a home is a great way, and we will incentivize building wealth in California. not trying to survive being dependent on the state of California. I want to be clear, we're not going to get rid of Section 8 or low-income housing that we already have, so there will be protections in place for what's already existing. We'll simply incentivize opportunities for you, though, or for anybody in a situation to actually begin to build wealth.
I absolutely agree on this part. Real estate and home ownership are a way out of poverty and the first step of building wealth. More housing will help to make housing more affordable so everyone can get a chance of owning a property.
And we'll partner with companies like SpaceX to provide high-speed internet and reach more newer homes in California through perhaps their Starlink system. We'll also work with companies like Enphase and Tesla so we can make sure our grid is more resilient, not only when fires occur, but for the more homes that we have.
If he really plans to work with Tesla, he has to sell his Tesla shares first. Otherwise, there will be a conflict of interest if he becomes governor and wants to Teslarize California.
Transportation is a problem, and we need much better transportation. I propose that instead of spending money on a very expensive high-speed rail line and spend billions of dollars on such a rail line, we instead work with innovators like Elon Musk or any other company who wants to build tunnels far below into the bedrock of our state in safe ways, geologically safe ways. Build tunnels under densely populated areas to connect densely populated cities like San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego, Santa Barbara, not through the 405 or the I-5 or the 101, but through tunnels to get people from cities to the new homes that they live in, potentially outside the cities, in the new areas that we develop, or wherever they want. We need tunnels to solve our traffic crisis.
Yep, tunnels are a smart way to reduce the footprint of highways above ground. The construction will help boost the economy, but we also need to keep in mind that the maintenance of such big tunnel network will cost the state more money. And I'm not sure if a toll fee alone can cover all those costs. Overall, there's no question that the transportation needs to be improved.
Since Joe Biden plans to make community college free, I propose that 70% of California high schools and community college, not all of them, about 70% of them, maybe more, be merged and turned into what I call 4-year future schools. Future schools are optional. This means if someone wants to go to a traditional high school and then to a traditionally community college, they can. That avenue will still be available. However, future schools will operate very differently. Future schools will pay teachers $120,000 or more per year, more than tripling teacher salaries. Future schools will operate like this. At 14 years old, students will have the choice to attend a future school or a normal school. Future schools will blend community college and high school. They will prepare students for the real world. We will produce software engineers, mechanical engineers, cannabis growers. We'll produce genomic researchers, technicians, therapists, nurses, salespeople, entrepreneurs, business folks. This means at 14, students will have their curriculum catered to what potentially their career path might become. The first 2 years between 14 and 16 might be more generally focused on business and personal finance, and those years between 17 and 18 might be more catered towards actual hands-on training. So for example, if you're becoming a nurse, you might not need to learn calculus, but you'll learn about building wealth through investing, and you'll learn how to be a nurse. So that way, by 18, you'll be able to get a job as a nurse. By 18, you'll be ready to be a Palantir engineer at the FBI. At 18, you'll be ready for a job at Tesla, Google, or Apple. How? Well, with real work study and in collaboration with these companies. We'll ask companies to integrate our students into their real work environments.
Very, very smart idea, which will work in the real world. We already see the big companies like Tesla, Apple, Microsoft, and other big tech companies hiring more talented workers with a unique skill set, and a degree is often not required. A quicker start in the working life will boost the economy. The work life is longer than other countries. productivity will be increased, and more wealth can be accumulated by individuals who start earlier. The drawback can be if the individual wants a career change, it might be more difficult. Paying teachers $120,000 per year sounds reasonable, and with the help of big companies, this can become a reality. But I think that those big companies will train those teachers. Otherwise, the companies have less interest in the students. So in this case, the teacher have a different skill set and teach the kids a different skill set than the traditional teachers. We have to be careful. If we specialize the kids too much in one direction, it might be difficult for them to change direction in the future. Then they might be stuck with their decision they made when they were 14.
Trade school, it's the next level. It's the best of both. It's the best of actually all three: high school, trade school, and community college. It's a merger of all of them, and will reduce costs by working with companies like Teachable and highly paid teachers to teach courses online. And no, I'm not talking about stupid Zoom meetings. I'm talking about structured educational lectures that can be filmed and played online, so that way teachers don't waste their time giving the same lecture hundreds of times when they could just have a recording playing that lecture, and students could then slow it down or speed it up or replay it. And then we'll have in-person study, in-person hands-on lessons, in-person hands-on learning with the companies and places that students might end up wanting to work with. They'll learn the real world, and they'll actually learn how to build their wealth at the same time. We'll do real world projects. We're going to build the future, one student at a time.
I agree that the school and teaching system is obsolete, but concentrating too much on teachable pre-recorded lessons and a non-person teaching environment can be challenging too for the students. The lack of social interactions can create a robot-like environment in our society. We also don't know if the kids who are so young have enough responsibility and learn all by themselves. This model of school has to be tested first. This kind of system will work for some kids, but most kids need a teacher. The best is to find a healthy balance to create the best out of the two worlds.
Our California educational system has failed us. Think about it. Right now, somebody who graduates at 18 has a hard time getting a job at McDonald's. We complain about needing a minimum wage, yet our workers don't have skills because our schools have failed them. Think about it. We need an army of certified programmers, licensed handy people, CPAs, certified financial planners, engineers, architects, salespeople, business folks, nurses, you name it, earlier than ever before and for less money. Also, since community college is likely to be free under Joe Biden, we'll expect to fund most of our future schools with federal government funding. And since our future schools will merge high school and community college and use technology to scale, we expect to operate future schools as an extremely cost-effective, high-quality institution. Capable individuals will be able to enroll for free and will do so for a fraction of what we spend on schooling today. Capable homeless individuals and undocumented folks will also be able to enroll, and those undocumented individuals will be able to earn their way to citizenship, and the federal government will pay for it. In addition, future schools will give homeless individuals an opportunity to finally build their dignity. I expect to reduce our state expenditures on college and high school by the tune of $30 to $50 billion a year with the aid of the federal government paying for community college, aka our future schools.
Having a community college for free and accessible to homeless and undocumented people improves the living standard. I think it's very noble and right that Meet Kevin also mentioned homeless people and undocumented people. We have to understand that people are a resource of a country as well. We see many first world countries are struggling with their population because it's decreasing. We see this problem in some European countries like Germany or Asia. We see it drastically with Japan. So giving people access to more knowledge is a way to speed up the economy, and using the resource people here is absolutely correct. A homeless person or kid of a low income family who earns a degree and makes money costs the state less money. The person who makes more money will spend more over his or her lifetime, and everyone will benefit from it. But we might need additional rules here because I'm from Germany and university fees were cheap in Germany. But there are also funding problems. Universities complained about not being competitive enough with top universities of the world because of the lack of funding. We also had students in college for over 10 years because they had no rush to finish their degree. So overall, a good balance needs to be found. Let me end the first part of my reaction to meet Kevin's running for governor here. Overall, I like his idea. Some ideas need some more fine-tuning, but overall it goes in the right direction. We need people doing politics who dare to do something. It can be right or wrong, but it's important to do something. When you know there is a leak, then you have to fix it or replace it. By doing nothing, the leak will just continue. He understands that the wealthy and the big companies are leaving California. Trying to get them back and making them stay is right. If he really runs for governor, I would vote for him. Many might think a YouTuber cannot become governor, but we remember that a Hollywood star and Mr. Olympia became governor not too long ago. The problem is that changes are not easy to force. Many people in power like to keep everything as it is. Anyways, for legal reasons, let me tell you that I'm not a financial advisor, CPA, politician or realtor, so always consult with an expert before making a decision. Everything said here is purely my opinion and is for entertainment value only. Remember to do your own due diligence, and thank you so much, and see you hopefully in the next video. Thank you, bye.